Well. Excuse me, folks. Good evening. I hope everyone is doing well on this March 20th, 2024 day and year. Okay, this is Tony Ray Harvey, and I am the host of On the Cutting Room Floor, presented by Publicity Agents. And you know why I'm here, so let's get into it. Sacramento Kings won on the road in Toronto, Canada, Toronto, Canada, at the Scotiabank Arena. They beat the Raptors 123-89 tonight in Toronto. So that's the first of their 3-game road trip. They will play in the district, Washington, D.C. tomorrow, March 21st, for the second game. And hopefully they can keep that going, because tonight was basically a barn burner. I think at one point they were up about 38 points on the Raptors. So they definitely went in there and took care of their business. Some excellent performance across the board. And that's basically where we are. And that's how they started it off. So they understand that, you got to get every one of these wins, because they are still sitting in the 6th place. They are still sitting in the 6th spot in the NBA Western Conference. So it's winding down to that. They improved their record to 40-29, and they are 20-15 on the road. And they follow that up with a convincing win over the Memphis Grizzlies, which they just played here 2 nights ago at the Golden One Center. Okay, Toronto, they lose their 8th straight. They are now 23-46 on the season, 13-21 at Scotiabank Arena. So they didn't really have anybody out there. And all prayers to R.J. Barrett. I understand, he will be attending a funeral tomorrow on Thursday, March 21st, the death of his younger brother. So they didn't have him. They didn't have Emmanuel Quickly tonight. And those are 2 guys that they got in exchange for Pressure Achua and OG Anunoby in the New York Knicks trade. So they're basically just working on the future. And they had a lot of those players that they want to look at tonight. And only really one that pretty much stand out is veteran Gary Trent, who led them with 18 points. But it was all about the Kings tonight, folks. The Sacramento Kings, okay, playing some really good ball right now. Of course, we're still talking about that loss to the New York Knicks, which is definitely a physical battle. And they played well. They played defensively well, too. That's how things are going to look. So they're looking really good on defense. And I could start in a lot of spots, but I do want to start here. Okay. They had 14 steals tonight. 14 steals. I've been asking these players about that these last few games. I've been asking head coach Mike Brown about that lately. Okay. And it's pretty much been the same. Okay. This team is strictly focused on deflection, and those deflections are turning into steals. Okay. And a lot of these times, these steals are turning into conversion, and I mean points. They're looking really good. And the reason why I bring up those 14 steals, because in the last 5 games, they have had 50 steals. That's an average of 10 steals. I like to call them train robberies per game. That's defense. Defense. Okay? Keon Ellis is doing his thing tonight. He had 4 steals tonight, to be exact. Yes, and a block. That's what the Kings are looking like right now. This just happened all of a sudden. It took a little while to get there. Okay, we've seen this in spurts throughout the season. It's just the thing is they have to do it consistently, and they have to believe in themselves. They have to have confidence in what they're doing, and they have to play together on that defensive end. So, yes, I want to talk about that. Let's talk about that. Deflection, physicality, okay, verticality, communications, double teams, okay, one-on-one, zones, everything that they can do on defense. They're doing it together now, folks. And this is a good preparation with the NBA playoffs coming up in about another month. They're understanding that now. But the thing is, which we've been preaching, consistency. You have to have a pattern of doing this. You can't do it one night, 2 nights, and then take off the next 3 nights playing defense. And I don't care who you're playing right now, okay? The Toronto Raptors look like a G team out there tonight. I'm sorry, okay? And I really do like the coach, Darko Rajovic. Okay, he's going to be a good coach in this league and stuff, but this is where he at, okay? They pretty much dismantled that team when they did this trade. They got a lot of young players to work with, but they still have Gary Trent. Their only recourse right now is the NBA draft and looking forward to next season. The Kings, the moment is now. Defense. 14 steals tonight. I don't care how you did it or who you did it against. You got 14 steals, okay? Because when I look back on it, what they had? Let's see, I think they had 11 steals against the. They had 11 steals against the Lakers. They had 11 steals against somebody else. They have 7 steals. What did they have? They had 7 steals in the loss with the New York Knicks. That game was 98-91 New York Knicks. Then they had 7 steals against the Memphis Grizzlies. That was the last game. Then they picked it back up. They had 14 steals. I mean, I just recently noticed that there was a stretch where 3 games they were leading the league in steals in a 3-game stretch. Now that's not much, okay? But you build off of everything that you have in this league. And you take that and you run with it. You be the lion in the jungle with everything. You're playing physical, you have to play physical because they're going to play physical with you. You're still the Sacramento Kings, and you're still not getting a lot of respect in this league, okay? Which really worries me about Malik Monk. Malik had 17 points tonight. He didn't play in the third quarter. Domantas Sabonis didn't play the third. Let's see who played. Let's see. Domantas Sabonis didn't play in the fourth quarter. De'Aaron Fox didn't play in the fourth quarter. Malik Monk didn't play in the fourth quarter. So you know what type of outcome that was for the rest of the game because they were up by 38 points. But Malik Monk, he's been doing it. He's the man. He is the man right now, and there's been a lot of talk about what's going on with him, and we have been talking about his contract, which ends at the end of this season. It was on a 2-year, $18-19 million deal. Probably the most he made since he's been in the league. I don't know how much he made when they did that 1 year in Laker, but which is a nice contract for 2 years. But now, I'll put it like Kenny Caraway said, okay? That was yesterday's price. So now we're looking at something else going into next year with this young man. And whatever he gets, he earned it. And he should be the 6th man of the year. Because that really scares me how this league been treating this organization, this franchise, okay? Domantas Sabonis is putting up Hall of Fame numbers, and he was not an all-star. That's 51-50. That's just totally unbalanced. I know I asked Taylor Jenkins the other day, the coach of the Memphis Grizzlies, defensive-minded coach, really great coach. Love to talk to him every time he comes here. And I try to talk to all these opposing team coaches when he come here. Okay, he gave Domantas high praise, but he wouldn't give away who he voted for as far as all-star voting. Okay, I respect that. I'm trying to ask everybody there. I know Kenny Caraway had mentioned that too on his radio show with Damian Barlin And every chance I get, I'm definitely trying to ask these Western Conference coaches where their mind at. Really, the only person who came forward was Mike Malone. Okay, Mike Malone did vote for Domantas Sabonis. Okay, but what really scares me is Malik Monk. I hope they don't do that to him because he is the sixth man of the year. And as far as I'm concerned, with 15 games left in the season, he sealed it. He sealed it the other night with the Grizzlies. Okay. Overtime victory. He's doing his thing. He's doing his thing. Sixth man of the year. Anyway, getting back to the game. Getting back to basketball. Yeah, the Sacramento Kings, they won tonight 123-89. They beat the Toronto Raptors up in Canada, Toronto. And they're on their way to the district, Washington, D.C., to play the Washington Wizards. So, see how that. I think they got some people that's going to be out of that game too. They're not going anywhere anyway. So the Kings better be on point because there's somebody on that team trying to make a name for themselves, and they will want to do it against the Sacramento Kings if they know the reputation of the Sacramento Kings. So you need to go in there and take care of that too. Okay. Pin it down and mark it up on the wall and move up on out of there and head on to Orlando, where you'll be playing March 23rd down in South Florida. Central Florida, I think, Orlando. Okay. But, yeah, so they sweep the Toronto Raptors. Toronto Raptors lose their 8th consecutive game. De'Aaron Fox had 20 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. 28 minutes. Domantas Sabonis, 13 points, 17 rebounds, 10 assists. That was his 51st double-double, straight double-double. 51st straight double-double of the season. Okay, I think he's like 3 behind Jerry Lucas. And that was his 24th triple-double on the year. 13 points, 17 rebounds, 10 assists. He had 1 block in that game. He did all this in 27 minutes, as I mentioned before. He did not play the fourth quarter. They didn't need him. Okay, he did all his work then. Harrison Barnes, right on time. 16 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist in 19 minutes. Okay, he's been productive lately, folks. And going in this direction, he needs to be. Because Kevin Huerter appears to be sidelined for a little while. Okay, we all know what happened to him in the Memphis Grizzlies game. I think it was like 1 minute and 51 seconds into the first quarter, and he had to leave the game with a shoulder injury. I was listening to the G-Man on the radio show today, and Gary had mentioned something about a dislocated shoulder, and then he went into some other details, which I will not talk about because I get really queasy about these things. I don't even like the sight of blood. But it's serious. It's serious. And the way Gary was explaining it, it's serious. And I don't like to speculate on none of this stuff until I hear what the medical report is. Okay? What I see with my eyes might not be what the actual injury is. That's what we were observing the other night, sitting up in section 105 in the media box. Because it looked like some other things that was going on. But later on, we get it from the league source that it was his shoulder. So I'm praying for him. I'm praying for his family. I hope everything is okay. Okay, and I hope he's returned to the court as soon as possible. If not, take your time and heal. Get yourself right. The playoffs are on down the line. Okay, I think the Kings can hold it down until you get back, Kevin Huerter. Right now, I think they will be expecting Sasha Vezenkov back here pretty soon. He's been out since before All-Star break with an ankle injury. I think it was ankle sprain. Trey Lyles, he's been out with an ankle sprain. He's going to be out for another week. But I think they still have enough, to get these victories on the road and then come back for another homestand, starting with the Philadelphia 76ers Monday, March 25th. So that's the situation that's going on right now. Kevin, get better, please. I'm praying for you. Okay, and I like to talk about these guys because there's 3 guys on this team that I call them the benevolent society. They're just so extremely nice, at least to the fans, the organization, the coaches, and staff, as well as the local media. They're just some really stand-up guys, and that's Kevin, Harrison Barnes, and Domantas Sabonis. Okay, these are the guys, if they see an old lady, struggling and need to get across the street with her grocery, these are the guys that are going to do it. I do it to myself too. I believe you would too, so I understand that. But anyway, Kevin, get better. And matter of fact, back to the stats. Keegan, he rebounded his tail off. He had 10 points and 8 rebounds in this one. I think he had a double-double in the last game as far as rebounds. He had 10, 11 rebounds in the game against the Grizzlies. He had 1 steal and 2 blocks in 30 minutes. Keon Ellis. Now, I know we've been talking about all these things that have been going on right up until the trade deadline last month in February. But if you ask me, something was done significantly when General Manager Monte McNair gave this man a $5.4 million contract for the next 3 years. He's been balling out ever since. Matter of fact, he was balling before then, but he done took it to another level, folks. Okay. He was the leader in the steals tonight. Again, 4 steals, 1 block. Okay. 6 points, 3 assists. Go back to Henry Turner and Scott Marsh on the radio show this afternoon. Okay. We don't care about the stat box. Okay. We see what he's doing, those little things that take care of that defense, or at least anchor that defense. That's all that matters. Keon is the man. He is the man. Okay. Out of Alabama, free agent. And I would have to say, and I don't like to say I saw it when he played his first game for the Sacramento Kings in the California Classic in San Francisco at the Chase Center. I don't even know if he started that game. I think they started one of those G League players or stuff like that. But I knew when he stepped out on the floor that this kid can play some defense. He is a defensive-minded player, athlete. I saw that then. Okay, he got a jumper. I think he's been making shots from 3-point territory. We know he can do that, and he'll do it on a consistent basis. Okay, but he only do what he needs to do. But as far as that defense, everything that he needs to do. Okay, he got caught up the other night with Jalen Brunson. That's been talked about. Has been memed. Something that doesn't normally happen to Keon Ellis. Extremely uncharacteristic of his defensive prowess. Okay, he took his eyes off the man. Dude went the other way. Brunson went the other way, and he scored. Okay, it wasn't even about miscommunication, nothing like that. Okay, Jalen Brunson just pretty much played him. But anyway, we know how good this young man is. He sold up for the next 3 years, and he has changed the dynamics of what they're doing on defense. 4 steals. 4 steals. I have to look into the whole total deflection department, because that department, Mike Brown, that department, Jordy Fernandez. That's what they be looking at on that defensive end. Okay, those deflections. There's been a lot of that lately. 14 steals tonight. Great job, Keon. 4 steals. Chris Duarte. He's picked it up. 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists in 19 minutes. But he made 5 or 6 shots from the field. 2 or 3 from 3-point territory. Made both his free throws. That's consistency, because he's been doing that a lot lately too. He comes in, you're fired up. You better make it, because Mike goes, you'll yank him out of there and sit him back on the bench. But he's been playing really consistent. Okay, and this is his best stretch as a King right now, and he's looking really, really good. And I expect more out of him too, until we figure out, at least the Kings organization figure out what's going on with Kevin Herter in his shoulder, because it hasn't really been a diagnosed relay conveyed to us as his situation. So until that time happened, Chris Duarte, the Dominican been getting off, okay? And I would like to preface the fact that his English has gotten a lot better. Okay, I like to say these guys, when they come out from these foreign countries, these international players, they talk better than me. Okay, and it won't be too long before they talk extremely well. And I noticed Morgan Reagan, having a conversation with them after the game, and she told him, "No, your English is excellent. We have the problem. We only speak one language. Okay, we go to school, and it's not forced on us to learn different languages. Matter of fact, I noticed that people from these other countries pick it up quicker than we do, and I've been told English is a really tough language to learn." But that's somebody who's getting comfortable with himself, okay? That someone is getting comfortable with the environment that he's in. That is someone who's comfortable with the organization. That is someone who's comfortable with the athletes, his teammates. And it's coming out. All of it is emerging. It is spilling out on the floor, on the court. And to have some people working with him. I understand that, Doug Christie, and they have, you can see him after practice, standing around him, talking to him, pointing out things to him. These coaches, see, we're talking about Malik Monk. While I'm talking about the coaches and what they're doing for this organization, because I really do like this core that they have as far as assistant coaches and trainers and personal developers. We're talking about Malik Monk. It's not going to happen this season, but next season, or even going into next season, we're going to have to start talking about Mike Brown. Okay, Mike Brown signed a four-year, $20 million deal, reportedly, in May 9th, 2022. Okay, so he's about to wind up making half of that after this season. And they are going to make, they're going to the postseason. Let's just say that. I'm not going to say play-in, playoff right now, but they are going into the postseason. They're not going to drop to no 10. Anyway, you're going to have to start talking about him, okay? Because he's the one, okay, who's been driving this Bugatti. And he's the one who mainly brought in all these assistant coaches and kept a couple of them, okay? I know Lizzie Harding, she was part of the staff, but she done moved on this year. Doing an excellent job down there with the Stockton Kings, okay? With Kobe, Jalen, and Jordan Ford, and all, just doing a great job with these cats. Really, really doing a great job, okay? But when I look at, you go to this top, not to the top of Monty McNair and West. Not that top. I'm talking about coaching. Mike Brown. It's been an up and down season, and I know I can tell by looking at his face after that New York loss. They lost 98-91. Okay, and that, all right. Then it really started to show against the Memphis Grizzlies because they was having a little hard time, getting separation from them. Of course, that game went into overtime. Okay, he's okay with the win, but he's getting tired of all that craziness. Okay, blowing these big leads. I'm not talking about Mike Brown, head coach. You just feel it, You could just tell. But he's coaching through it, and it's getting better. I think it's going to get better. Not to say it's not going to happen again, though, folks, but it's something that you got to you got to coach through it. You got to deal with it, and they got to play through it. But Mike Brown, okay. So yes, he's sitting on a 4-year, $20 million deal, but at some point you're going to have to start talking about him. I know we got the Keegan Murrays, that's on down the road. Domantas, he's been taken care of. You had to go back to De'Aaron Fox. Yes, you want to keep all those guys together. And I don't know what's going to happen with Malik after this one because in this league, it's business. Okay, money talks. And I'll say it again. When somebody told me, a good friend that I see at the Sacramento Kings game in the media room for the last 20 years. I'm not going to bring up his name because he's, because of his position. There's business. There's entertainment, he said. Don't mix the two. Don't mix the two. And what I'm saying here is Malik Monk. Sky's the limit. He controlled his own destination after this. He can fit well right now in a few organizations, right? Going forward, including the San Antonio Spurs, whoever got the cash. So the Kings going to have to think of what they want to do with this young man after the season. Then after that, Mike Brown. Yeah, okay. Everybody played. Mike Brown, both teams, they cleared the benches the night as far as playing time. David Mitchell had 8 points. Alex Lynn, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Okay. Kessler Edwards. Glad to see him out there. I did see him a week ago, playing in Stockton. So, keep his legs, under him. Get a little playing time. But he got some playing time tonight here in Toronto. And, Kings shot 51% from the floor. Okay. 29%, 3-point territory, 12 of 41. Free throws, they were 15 for 18, 83%. So they look good in that category. They had 60 rebounds tonight, 60. Okay. And I would want to say, and that first half was kind of crazy because Toronto had 17 rebounds in the first half. The Kings had 27, but Sabonis had 11 of those 27. So he almost, anyway, I don't want to get Toronto, too much bad press and stuff like that. But anyway, just move on. The Kings had 19 offensive rebounds, folks. 19 offensive rebounds. And stick around, to collect the full chart of how many offensive rebounds each player got on the Kings, but they had 19 offensive rebounds. And I know Coach Mike Brown has been getting on them about that. But a great effort. Okay, I really don't want to go too far into this because we have another game tomorrow, and I do want to come back. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you haven't so far. Things will get better with this programming that I got together here in Black Magic Inc. Studio, telecasting live from the Greenhaven Pocket area here, right here in Sacramento. You know me, I'm getting it from both sides. I don't play that. I'm a real reporter. Okay, I go to the opposing teams and I get their information, and of course I always going to get the Sacramento Kings, get their information, and go to their practice as well as getting these interviews. That's how I do things. You're interested with the other opposing team has to say about the Kings. This is the place to do it. Okay. You're not, one dynamic thing that's going on right here. This is training that I have, and it's a hard thing to do because I'm doing it for 2 or 3 different entities, including NBC Sports Radio. But I love what I do. Sometimes I have to come home and ice my knees up. I. That's about the extent of it. I don't even really like to talk this way. Okay, but I'll be hearing I, me so much, that. Come on, give me a break, man. All right? It's about the people. It's about disseminating the information to the masses. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's never going to be about that. Okay, but you keep doing the great job that you're doing as far as spreading the news. Plenty of us out there that's doing it, but all that me stuff. Edward R. Murrow, one of my favorites, top favorites, broadcast journalist. Walter Cronkite. I can name a whole few that I study to this day. And I ain't never heard no selfishness stuff that come out of them when they were reporting the news. Okay? Stuff can get slanted. It was back then too. I know how it is right now. We talk about the right, we talk about the left. Okay? Sometimes your views get into it, but they never brought themselves into it. That makes any sense. Anyway, so the Kings were up halftime, 68-25, 68-45 at halftime. Same guys, De'Aaron, Monk, Sabonis. Sabonis had 8 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists in the first half. And that pretty much, the Raptors, they cut the lead 57-45. They cut the Kings lead 57-45 in the first half, but the Kings, they closed out on an 11-0 run to end the half with a 68-45 lead. And as I mentioned before, at least early in the third quarter, they had a 38-point lead, and they really just never looked back. I don't even know. I think Toronto probably cut the lead down to about 29 points at the most. But it didn't matter because, the key players for the Kings did not play in the fourth quarter. That game was over. Good to see that the reserves, got a chance to get out there on the floor. So we got another one tomorrow, and they will be playing in Orlando. Get a little Disney action down there. It was a little better weather, too, because it looked like they were wearing coats up there around Toronto. So, hope nobody... Anyway, good performance. And I do want to thank you for turning in to another episode of On the Cutting Room Floor. I'm the host, Tony Harvey, and this is presented by Publicity Agent, telecasting from Black Magic Ink Studios, Green Haven Pocket area, Sacramento. I love y'all. Hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. I got more material to come up, and the studio will improve. In the meantime, I will talk to you people tomorrow. So love, peace, and solidarity. I'm out.